There is a serious threat growing within this country. And unless our government actually kicks into action and starts taking care of this issue, we're going to see xenophobic attacks that remind us of the 2010s and perhaps even the early 2000s, where you saw foreigners being killed, massacred, shops burned down to the ground, all as a result of illegal immigration, and it's starting back up. One of the big problems, however, is when you look even in 2024, right? We had the refugee protection from Dr. Mutsia that said no one can account for all undocumented migrants. The DHA has no idea as to how many illegal immigrants are in South Africa. In other words, we have a nation filled with people who did not ask to be here, who no one even knows that they're here, right? And they just keep flooding in. The borders of South Africa appear to be more just, welcoming signs than anything else. And over the week, we actually saw a number of groups within South Africa take to the streets, surround hospitals and clinics, and fight migrants who were trying to access these free health services. Now, of course, the government came out in full force and said, how dare you? It is the right of every foreign international or foreign national to gain access to our health services. But one would argue, and at least I would make this argument, the government is being a little bit facetious on this matter. Because, yes, if you are a legal foreign national in the country, you are allowed access to our health services. But if you're here illegally, what kind of bonkers country just says to people, hey, you can come here and you can come get some medical help? Because while our hospitals are absolutely full to the brim, especially the public ones, it is some of the best healthcare. It's literally the best healthcare in Africa. You will not go to an African hospital anywhere on this continent and receive better healthcare than right here in South Africa. The aftercare might be problematic, but it's still a hell of a lot better than any of the other hospitals, right? So people will come here. It is just bonkers to me. We already have a country that is completely filled to the brim with people who don't work, who make no sizable or recognizable contribution to this economy. If anything, the only contribution that the 26 million SASSA grants make to South Africa is that they continue to vote for the ANC to keep them in power. Outside of that, they do nothing to actually contribute to this country. We have enough people in this country that the small, tiny tax base of just over 7 million people have to take care of. We cannot afford to take care of even more people. I don't understand what is the South African government thinking with this open border policy. In Europe, it kind of makes sense because it helps drive at least initial economic growth. It's not good growth, and it definitely will not help in the long term, but at least it makes sense there. Here, it doesn't make sense. South Africa already has a massive unemployment problem. So it's not as if this is making it any better, right? It also drives down wages significantly on a population that already doesn't receive that much in wages. We don't have enough homes. You're just adding more people to the homelessness problem. We don't have enough. We don't have enough of anything. Why are our borders open to these people who don't belong here, who has no right to be here? And then you look and you see articles like this from the Daily Maverick that tries to make it sound like we should feel guilty about foreign nationals not being allowed access to medical facilities. And I'm sorry, but I don't feel guilty about that. Why should my tax money or my tax rands go to people who do not belong in the country, who should not be here? And look, I'm not making an argument that these people are bad or criminals or anything like that. I'm sure most of them are phenomenal people. The issue is we cannot even take care of ourselves. Why should we be expected to take care of others? I'm not even happy that my tax money is going to people who aren't working, right? Like, I don't even want that to happen. But at least if my tax money is going to go somewhere, let it go to actual citizens of this country rather than to people who has no right to be here. I'm sorry, but borders aren't racist. Borders aren't wrong. they exist for a reason, right? And it should be there to allow a country to take care of its own people first before it try and take care of the world. South Africa cannot take care of the continent of Africa. We will crumble before we're able to do that. There is a lot more poor people in Africa than what we have in South Africa, and you cannot expect the 7 million taxpayers of this country to suddenly also try and take care of the rest. This is just untenable. And I do think this is an issue that most of us should be able to rally behind, because even if you're not one of the people missing out on healthcare because you happen to have private healthcare, it's still your tax dollars being used to pay for people who don't even belong here, who should not be here, who isn't South African. Let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something that I'm not seeing. But as far as I'm concerned, this should be a pretty clear slam dunk. It's one of the easiest W's the government can get. Shut the borders. It's as simple as that. But I'd love to read your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit the like if you liked, the dislike if you didn't. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace.